Give me a. You're amazing. Sue and I were talking about this. Was it this morning or yesterday or something? It was like the blind leading the blind. It was hilarious. But we're both learning, aren't we, Sue? So, okay, someone's trying to get back on. Good. It was a glorious day. My shoulder is starting to free up. Brilliant. 2 weeks on the X39. Fantastic. Honestly, I know we're getting so many testimonies from this. Technology is amazing. So what was I saying? 5 weeks. That's right. This business is all about helping people. At the end of the day, if we don't talk, if we don't share, if we don't push beyond our personality types, our circumstances, our situations, we won't be able to help more people. And if we don't mind just being on silent, if that's okay, until we open it up for Q&A, that would be great. Appreciate that. So this is that's how this works. If I don't talk, no one gets helped. And so that's what we want to do over the next 5 weeks, is talk about the word sales. And I actually want to redeem it, because what sales is actually, it's an exchange. And I believe when it's something positive, you're helping someone's life. Sales is not a bad word. It's all about how you do it and who you are and why you do it. So I want to talk over the next 5 weeks how we help more people. I want to hear about people's experiences of how they help people. I want to hear about some of the rejections, some of the things that they've had to deal with, some of the comebacks, learn from, because we have all different personalities in this room. And even beyond this, the people that will be watching and listening to this, is people finding, and you'll locate, sometimes you'll hear someone and you go, I really relate to them. And then maybe they got a bit more of a personality type than you. You'll be like, hey, I can learn from other personality types, but that one resonates with me. And I'd encourage you, even as a leader, to find those types of voices, listen to them and learn from them, because they'll have a similar rhythm to you on how you think, how you act, how you respond, that you can really grow from. And then the other personality types are the ones that challenge you to break out of the box, to do some risky stuff that even scares you to do it or shocks you, and has some great results. Thank you, Martin. So I want to say this before I open up some questions. Life, to me, comes down to, in general, when it comes to problems and solution, is doors and keys. All you need to do is know where the right door is and have the right key to open it up to be able to go to the next thing. So life is all about finding the right door and finding the right keys. And if we have a mindset like that, especially when it comes to a business like what we're doing with this, is excuses have got to go throughout the door, blame, all of those things. And it's got to come back to, where's the door that I need to open? And what are the keys that I need to be able to open that door? And so can you give me a 10 if you're still with me? Because I personally want to see us have the best end of the year, because we're in September now. So, you know, when I look on these faces, you're all my generation and above. Life seems to get a lot faster, unfortunately. And we're going to be Christmas before we know it. Let's really have the mindset of we're going to help a lot of people over the next 4 or 5 months, and stretch and challenge ourselves, listen to other people's stories, take notes. We'll challenge ourselves to use some of the experience and knowledge that they're imparting when it comes to experiences around this business, and go find some keys and go unlock some doors, and get rid of if I can go there for a second, get rid of the blame games and the what I don't have and what I should have, and if I had this and if I had that, get rid of all of that and go, I just need to find some keys and I need to open some doors and change people's lives. So I'm going to open up. I have Ange and Dave on here. Can you give us a wave, you guys? Amazing directors, almost senior directors in our business, and they've done an amazing job. We have Sue Dux, our first senior director in our business. Give us a wave. We have Michelle, who's a director on her way to senior director. Are you senior director yet? On your way to senior director. I get confused. On your way to senior director. And Joanne, who's a director and is building a great team on our in this company. Then I'm going to ask them a whole bunch of questions, let them all answer organically, learn from their experiences, literally multiple different personality types. They're going to talk about some of the experiences around how we do sales and how we nurture people on with this business. So give me a 7 if you're ready for this. And then I'm going to find where I put my questions. Brilliant. Okay, so I want to ask, and then Sue's going to share a little bit about how we help people upgrade, because that's another thing by the end of this month with some of the old packages finishing and the new ones starting. That's a great opportunity to just close this out this month with what we have in our hand as we open up with the new opportunities, which I'm excited about as well. But here's a question I want to ask for those of you that I just spoke about that are on this, and then there'll be so many people watching this later, which is exciting, that are going to learn. And you all know each other well, so you can put your hand up and I can say yes or let it go organically. Most of everyone knows who you are here, but how do you typically initiate conversations with potential customers or team members about LifeWave? So potential customers, how do you initiate a conversation? How do you start? If I'm just a brand new brand partner and I don't have a network, I like when Vanessa and I turned up, we had certain networks around the world, but we hit the pavement. We had to get to we'd been gone 9 years. So someone who's like, I don't really know a lot of people, but I want to get out there. I'd love to ask Ange and Dave to begin with, if you could answer that question. How do you do that?
My initial reaction is the word listen. You listen. Yeah. You can open conversation about anything from when you're walking the dog to how nice a day it is to whatever it might be. Things obviously have to be natural, but the big thing is to listen. And I think one thing, you take little things out of each one of these evenings, and we had one a few weeks ago with Pat Mercedes, and he said the 2 R's, relax and relate. I think that is the most important thing. Listen to them, and relax and relate. It's not about your little plastic patch you've got that you want to stick on them. It's about them. So it's about listening to them. And sooner or later, when you run through you talk to them about their family, their occupation, their recreation, etc. Through those things, there's going to be a hint there of somewhere where we can help them with a patch and step forward from there.
Love that.
Yep.
Fantastic. Very sage advice. Ange, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't even realize I'm doing it sometimes when I just relax and relate. And that's when the conversation's nice and easy and it's flowing. And you almost don't even have to initiate so much of a conversation. Rather, you're within it and it's igniting itself and it's got its own energy. And that's a powerful place to be, because people then feel like they're being heard, because everybody's got something that needs some improvement. Anybody that doesn't think that they need improvement, they might try it because they think, oh, well, it'd be great to get more energy. And then they realize that there's all these other repercussions of what that energy means for them. So, ultimately listening and feeling into it. It's probably my best advice.
Yep. Great.
Exactly.
Great. Yeah. Really, really good advice. Sue, what do you think? Thanks, Dave and Ange. Brilliant.
Yeah, exactly what Dave and Ange have said. It has to be all about them, so it has to come organically. And so it's from just catching up with someone that you may not have seen for a while and asking them, how life's treating them, what have they been doing. I find that most people are forward with what their issues are when they know what industry I'm in. And so I'm in the health and wellness industry and have been for a long time. And so when I'm connecting with people, even if they're new people, it's just meeting them where they're at and asking, how can I help? Yeah, I think Dave and Ange hit it on the head with, listening and relating to people, meeting them where they're at, and it's asking the questions about them. What have they been doing? What are they up to? What are they feeling? What's happening?
It's great.
Yep.
You're really good at that too. Thank you, Sue. Michelle or Joanne, what have anything to contribute to that question? What are your thoughts?
I'll go. So with me, people ask me what I'm doing because I've got two businesses. I've got a business in the dog minding industry and I've got a business in the wellness industry. So when people say to me, what are you doing? I go, I've got two businesses, and if they're not talking to me about dogs, they talk to me about their health. And so I just say to them, yes, I'm in the stem cell patching business. Have you heard about stem cells? And I just go straight into it. And then they go, oh, yes. And then I talk to them about, LifeWave, and would they be interested in hearing more? And if they are, then I ask them a few questions. And as Sue just said, people open up when they know that, you are in that wellness area, and they ask questions, I ask them questions and they say, yes, I can't sleep, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. And I say, well, I've got something that might be able to help you. And then I just send them I give them a brochure if I've got one on me, or otherwise I send them some information online. And then I follow them up in about 3 days. Great.
I think that's such a key, is the follow-up, isn't it?
Yeah. The fortune's in the follow-up.
It is. And I lost you on my screen. Are you still there somewhere? Michelle, there you are. Would you also say that sometimes we're afraid to do the follow-up, but it actually can almost be offensive if we don't, if we're connected and then we haven't then taken that time to reconnect. Like, it took me a while to realize that. For me, I thought maybe they don't want the follow-up and, is it awkward? But it's like you just build.
I think it's always a good thing. Yeah. I think it's always a good thing, Andrew, to suggest to them that you will be following them up. Ask them permission. Is it okay if I give you a call back in a few days? And diarise it. Make sure that if you say I'm calling you back on Friday, you call back on Friday. The fortune is in the follow-up in all of our businesses, even in Michelle's dog minding business. Everything is in the follow-up. And letting people know. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So if you say to someone, I'm going to call you back on Friday, is that okay, to get some feedback from you? Make sure that you call them back on Friday. Don't just be afraid to do it. Sometimes it's not even a case of talking about the business or talking about buying the patches. It's just a connection, and building a rapport with people is the bottom line for our business, for our industry. And when you have rapport with someone, then you've asked permission to follow up, and they honor that because they understand that that's how you operate.
Yeah, that's really good. Can I also ask, as we and I'm going to bring this into our chats moving forwards, if you hear something that is like a light bulb moment for you, why don't you write it in the chat? Like, what do you usually send people? Okay, so that's a great question. We're going to answer some questions at the end, so that's great if you want to put them in there, and then we'll circle back if that's okay. But if something triggers and you go, that's a really good point, why don't you type it down? Because your muscle memory, actually, you'll remember it like 10 times more by writing it in the chat that you've done that. Encourages all of us, because I look at it and go, oh, that is a good point. Maybe I missed that. But for you, it's something that then connects. So even as we go along from now on, if something's great, something triggers, write it in the chat. It's encouraging, and it also helps us to remember. So I love that. Follow-up is so important. Were you going to say something, Michelle? Did I jump?
I was just going to say, going back to your point of it's an exchange, like it's not a sales, it's an exchange. And in the business I used to work in the corporate world, I always used to say to my team, you know, we've got something that these people need. So let's not look at it as us selling them something. Let's look at it as we have something that they need and vice versa. So how do we do that transaction? Find out what they need and then tell them how our business fits into that. So it's really about, it's not about sales. It's about going, okay, I've got something that you need and you need me and I need you. And how do we facilitate that?
Exactly. And then a transaction happens.
Yeah, ultimately, after down the track, it happens. Might not be that day. It might, as I just said, 5 months down the track, or in my other business in the corporate world, it used to be 2 or 3 years because conferences used to move around. So it's being persistent and patient and knowing that if you've got something that they need, just to keep, you know, without being a pest, just keep following up, reaching out, building a relationship, as Sue and Ange and Dave said, the rapport with people.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you. I'm going to go to the next question, but I'd love Joanne to start this one if you're comfortable. You're in a markets now in west or north of Brisbane, I think. So you've stepped out and doing all of that, which we're super encouraged by. When you become a brand partner, and you know, I'm sure I wasn't the only one pretty overwhelmed with where do I start? What do I say? How do I? There's so much to this. But yet, I mean, there is a simplicity to it, but there is such a depth. Where do you start when you begin to share this with somebody? What's some of the key points that you use and how you communicate that to somebody?
Yeah, it's been actually being at the markets has really been, it's a good training ground, to be honest with you, because you meet all different sorts of people and they kind of stop. They're curious. Some are curious, and we've been doing it probably just for 5 weeks now. And we have found now, just through being persistent, being there, that people are coming back and saying, "Oh, we've seen you here, and we really, you know, and I have been curious about this." And so I know when I first started into LifeWave, you know, because I am a bit of a talker, I tended to overtalk and to overshare, but I read people pretty well. So very quickly I could see I was doing the wrong thing because, you know, my passion for it took over. And so I quickly realized I had to backtrack a little bit. And this is about listening to them more than anything else. And it's about hearing what they have to say, because that's going to give you the next step that you have to take with them. The next, I guess, you know, which direction you're going to take. And, you know, and I'll often just ask them the question, you know, oh, you know, what, I noticed you're looking at the sign, you know, and we start to talk about the stem cells, you know, what interests you about that? Is that something you've heard about? Just let them talk. And when you ask those sorts of questions, they tend to kind of they settle, because they automatically feel that you're going to start to put the sales pitch out there. And when they realize that you're not going to do that, they relax. And when you see that posture, you understand that you've made a connection with them. And people can tell whether you genuinely care or whether you're thinking about the very next thing you're going to say. You know, you can tell that, a person can tell that. And so we've really, it's actually taught us a whole lot since we've been out at the markets about really how to talk with people and how to approach them, how to listen to them, how to read their body language.
It's really good. Man, I hope we're taking some notes. Who else would like to share? Ange and Dave? Dr. Steph. I'd love to hear from Dr. Steph. You just have to unmute, I think. Or have we done that? Have we, no? Have we done the muting? I'm not sure.
No, she can unmute herself. She
Okay,
can unmute herself.
she's dropped. So what about Ange and Dave? If I can ask you, what do you
What emphasis?
do?
In terms of emphasizing conversations? Oh, is Steph back? All good. Was
Yeah,
that
so
the
when
question,
you
Andrew? That what are we emphasizing when we're talking to people?
yeah, so when you, especially when you first start and you get this, you know, product, this whole technology, and where do you start with helping people on? What do you start with to share this with people?
For us, obviously, you're talking to people all the time. So some people will fit into that, I guess, conversation naturally, organically. I try to let it be organic. I try not to do a spiel because, you know, it does come, as Joe said, across a bit disingenuous. However, mostly I just talk to them and speak to them about what I've been doing. So I've said, I'll say, well, do you want to hear what I've been doing lately and just hear how awesome understand why I feel so awesome right now? And then it will go from there.
That's great. What about you, Dave?
I think
David?
our internet has frozen.
Is it mine or is it yours? I'm trying to work out. Is that my internet?
No, it seems to be just Ange and Dave's. Yeah.
Okay. Wasn't sure if it was my kids
Oh,
being
there they are
playing
back again.
blocks or something at the moment.
I'm not sure what happened there. Sorry. So yeah, I'm not sure what part of that conversation you got, but really in that conversation, you're listening. Are they leaning into what you're doing? Often people want to talk about themselves. Eventually it gets to, oh, so what are you doing? And then I'll be like, well, I've discovered something amazing. And they're like, wow, what is it? And then I show them that I wear this little patch on the back of my neck. And that's how I initiate the conversation. And every person's different. And some people, to be honest, you can tell that they either lean in or they lean out. And so the conversation is either very short or it's very long.
Yeah, that's great. Love that. Dave, anything you want to add to that?
Not much. Obviously, that's the best way to do it. You know, we heard from Tessa on Friday night, and she has that funny little saying she says about I can't remember.
If you're in, you're in. If you're out, you're out.
Too bad. Who's next? Is what she says. If you're in, that's great.
Some will. Yeah.
That's it. Some will, some won't.
Will, some won't. So what?
So what?
What?
That's
Who's
right.
next?
I think that's a great way of doing it. And I think, Andrew, you coined the phrase very early on in our relationship when you said, if people don't lean in, I don't have the time. I don't have the energy to try and convince them that their health and well-being is the most important thing in their life. And so if they don't lean in for that conversation, move over, there's somebody else. And we don't have enough time because there's too many people that need help.
Yeah, so true. I think that could be even a whole session at some stage of how you do that, but we'll move forward.
It's with all the things that we've mentioned, whether you're at the markets and it's the body language or you know, like Angie said, if people don't lean in, it's just watching all those little things and making sure you're not talking to deaf ears.
Yeah, you can't fight harder for someone else's health than they will. That's for sure. That's great. Thank you. Dr. Steph, if you're able to jump back on.
What was the question?
So when you first start with X39, what is the predominant things you talk about with all of this information that you start with? Simply, what is the main components of this product that you share with somebody?
All right. So when I'm teaching people how to be interested as opposed to trying to be interesting, that means, and it's an Onyx Cole quote, you know, that the ignorance on fire trumps knowledge on ice every single day. So it's all about the posture. I teach people to stand, not sit. When they're talking, their diaphragm's working, that projects through your perception of confidence. When they're face to face with people, it's you have 2 ears for a reason and 1 mouth. And I know that's a cliche, but when you put it into practice and you're being interested in them, you're asking key questions that open it up, and don't interrupt them. Let them talk, even if they go off on tangents. Even if they go off on tangents, and then you can bring them back, because you're a solution person. You have the solution for whatever it is that ails them, that concerns them. And then when they're finished, I'll clarify and I'll say, so what I'm hearing is, and I'll pick one thing out of that conversation. And then I'll say, well, what would that mean for you if that was improved today? And then they talk again. They feel seen, they feel heard, they feel valued. That's it.
That's really good. Thank you. I love what you just said then. What? Could you say that phrase again? What could happen?
What would it mean for you if that was improved today?
What would that mean for you if that was improved today? That's gold right there. That's a great question. Thank you.
And you can take that to the bank, because it'll get a sale every time, because we are in sales. We
Exactly.
are providing a service, because if you're selling, you are going to do follow-up, you are going to stay in touch, you are building the relationship, whether you know them or not. And you've got to earn the money. So that's the legwork you have to do here.
Exactly. And I love that, because we talk about sharing, and this whole business is built on that, but it is also an exchange of something. And you're giving your energy, you're giving your time, and you're helping with a solution. So even just breaking that mindset of selling is redeeming that we are exchanging something for someone's good, and you're good. It's a two-way relationship. I love that. We've got about 10 minutes before then and if we have some time, we'll see.
Can I just say something, Andrew?
Questions. Yeah, I'm about to give it to you.
Put my hand up here, darling. Yeah.
Can I ask
So
this?
I loved what...
Sorry, you go.
Can I just add to Steph? That was an amazing comment that she made there. And it's very poignant to follow that up. When you ask somebody, what is it? You know, they've told you they have a health issue, and you say, and so what are you doing for that? And they'll explain whatever it is they're doing. I always say to them, and how's that working for you? Because then they can say, well, you know, nothing's improved. Like for myself, it was 11 months and nothing improved, nothing changed anything. And so would you be open to me sharing something that I've just come in contact with that's having amazing results for a lot of people? Would that be something you'd be interested in? If you ask people, is that something you'd be interested in? Or is this something that I could help you change? If I've got something that might change that for you, very few people are going to say, oh, no, I'm not interested. You know, most of them are very interested in what you have to share, particularly people with a pain point. They just want a solution. So always being solution focused is another thing that helps in this business, looking for an angle.
I love that. And if Steph, if you don't mind just writing in that one phrase again, because I'd love to have that on there. And even we've just been saying with this moving forwards, as we hear great thoughts, great statements, great questions, if we type it in ourselves, that helps us with muscle memory and shares it with everybody. And I think in the recordings, people get to see it as well. So if we could,
I would go one further and ask you to write it down with a pen, because when you engage the tactile response of pen to paper and you watch your handwriting, you're engaging left and right side of your brain, but you're also engaging the moment. So you're actually going to have memory of Andrew's voice and the time and place, the empowerment you got from that little bit that inspired you. So I'd even go so far as saying, handwrite it down, make a little yellow notepad or something.
Definitely. No, that's great. If you could write it down so then we can then write it down, that would be great. So we can remember, that would be awesome. Because there's going to be a whole bunch of people watch this later and this will be really helpful for them as well. So thank you for that. In the next, say, 6-8 minutes, because Dave and Angie are taking on the opportunity meeting next, and they're going to do amazing, as they always do. So we want to make sure we give them that time of the transition. Sue, I would just love for you to spend the last 6 minutes or so. I tried to give you more, so I'm sorry about that. On just how to upgrade for people to go, especially towards the end of the month. How do we upgrade people from silver to gold, gold to diamond, blah blah?
Okay, so we had that opportunity. We had that opportunity last week to upgrade people and make a bonus commission, but the upgrade is still available between now and the end of September, where they will get an extra sleeve for free. So if you go through your team and everybody that you have that's a silver, you can offer them a free sleeve of a support patch if they upgrade from silver to gold before the 30th of September. It'll cost them $335 Australian, and they get 2 X39 sleeves and 1 support sleeve. Now, what this does too is it encourages them that once they start sharing as a gold, they're entitled to more commission. As a silver, you can only earn $100 a week. So this is an opportunity, because the free sleeve won't be offered once we tick over to October, and the new names for the kits will be core, advanced, and premium, and there'll be 3, 6, and 20 sleeves in each kit. Whereas at the moment, a silver, for particularly those that are about to do a September order, what I've done is anyone downline in my team, not my personally sponsored, but anyone downline, I've reached out to the sponsors and said, connect with your people that are due to do a September auto ship subscription, and ask them if they would benefit from getting a free Aeon sleeve or free Ice Wave or glutathione. And the way to do that is to order their 2 sleeves of X39 through an upgrade. And then once the upgrade is completed, you then go in manually to their auto subscription and you push it out for October. But this way, they're getting something for nothing in September before the price rise. So I've had a lot of good response from my downlines to help their people to get a freebie, and also have them on the verge of sharing because they're now gold. So
that's brilliant.
that's it.
You did that so much faster than I thought. So that's great. You're even giving us extra time. So any questions around that for Sue?
Yeah.
Because that was great.
Just regarding I've got a friend who wants to upgrade to either from silver to gold. So you're saying, I'm not that familiar. I've only done this twice. So when you put in the sleeves, just explain that a little bit more, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I can go over it.
How you go about it, Sandra, is how you go about this is you click onto store in your back office, and the bottom thing says upgrade kits. When you click on that, it will give you a question, and you just hit continue, and then it selects gold or diamond. So you would click on the gold kit.
Yep.
And it asks you how many sleeves you want. Sorry. Ask you how many sleeves. So you put in 2 X39 sleeves, and you put in 1 Aeon. They're not charged for the Aeon. They're only charged for the 2 X39. It's $228.80 American, which converts at the moment to $335 Australian.
Yeah.
Then you process that. You just follow the instructions for the process. It's an automatic order process straight away, and then after that's gone through, you go up into their monthly subscription order and just change the processing date out to October, a date in October from 30 days from now.
Okay, 30 days from now. Okay, to October.
Yep.
All right, brilliant. Thank you. I think I follow that.
Okay.
And if I get stuck, I'll call you.
Yeah,
All
it's
good.
very easy. It's very easy.
That's great. Can I just one thing on that? So
Yes,
you're
Michelle.
available,
Yeah.
is that correct? With Vanessa away, who's still going to be online and working, but
Yeah.
obviously different time zone. You're available
Yes.
to help with
Yeah.
a lot of our team while she's away. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep.
Thank you.
Do you want me to put my phone number in the chat?
Yeah, that'd be great. And your email maybe too, in case people want to email, or that'd be great. Michelle, your
Okay.
question.
So if you're upgrading from gold to diamonds,
Yes.
do you get
You
2
still
months?
get free sleeves.
Yeah, I know, but sorry. So if you were pushing the auto ship out, do you get do you push the auto ship out for 2 months or 3 months?
Just for 2 months.
Yes, I thought so. Because it's an upgrade. It's
Yep.
not. So when we took the diamond kit, we got 3 months, but with the upgrade, it's 2. Thank you. So if you, in September, you would then put it in for December for the next auto ship, yeah? Yes.
October, November.
November.
December. Oh,
November.
No, you do it for November, Michelle.
yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Great question.
Just
We've got like 2 minutes before 2 or 3 before the opportunity meeting. What's some other questions that you may have that we can help you with?
Actually, just in regards to that upgrade, pushing the time out. So say my friends joined August 15th. So therefore the 1 month is September the 15th. And then if she upgrades to diamond, that will be October and November. So that'll be August, September's 1 month, September to October's 2, and then October to November, correct? That's the way I understand it.
Correct.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks, Sue.
Great
Yeah, you
question.
must forget the month that they're already been there, the date that they would have auto shipped initially.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great questions. Well, we're going to pretty much wrap it up for this part. Sue's going to put, thank you for that, Sue. Thank you for everyone that contributed. It goes so fast. We appreciate all your thoughts, and those directors and senior directors will be, and then others that we'll bring in, will be answering questions around basically sharing and the whole sales and understanding of how we get this to people, and learning. We're going to talk probably next week about rejections, how to deal with rejections, personally, professionally, positive comeback questions around that. So that'll be a little bit of next week with a whole bunch more questions that we have. And if you even want to email in questions that you have that you'd love answered, we'll either try to get that to you beforehand or add it to the next one. So thanks everyone for being here. Sue's details are on there. This will be recorded, put up on the site in the next 24 to 48 hours. Thank you, Joanne, for looking after this. And why don't we cheer Ange and Dave on as they do the opportunity meeting next. Bring all of your people that need to hear about this incredible technology.
And Andrew, can